The world is not ruled by the wise. It never has been. While brilliant minds sit in quiet rooms debating ideas, carefully weighing every possibility, mediocre men with loud voices have already claimed the throne. And here is the uncomfortable truth you need to hear today. Intelligence without action is just a beautiful prison, a gilded cage where the smartest people watch helplessly as the world burns outside their window. Look around you. The most powerful positions in business, politics, and society are not filled by the most capable people. They are filled by the most willing. The ones who raised their hands while others hesitated. The ones who spoke up while geniuses stayed silent, waiting for the perfect moment that never came. History does not remember the smartest person in the room. It remembers the one who had the courage to speak. This pattern has repeated itself for thousands of years, an endless cycle that would be almost comedic if it were not so tragic. In ancient Rome, philosophers wrote magnificent treatises about governance and ethics, while emperors who could barely read conquered entire civilizations. In the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci filled notebooks with revolutionary inventions that never saw the light of day, while merchants with half his intelligence built empires that shaped the modern world. Even today, the most groundbreaking researchers often struggle for funding, while influencers with no expertise command millions. The curse of intelligence has always been the same. The more you know, the more you doubt. And doubt, my friend, is the enemy of action. There is a phenomenon in psychology called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It describes something you have probably witnessed countless times without knowing its name. People with limited knowledge in a subject tend to dramatically overestimate their own competence. Meanwhile, experts with deep understanding often underestimate themselves because they are acutely aware of how much they still do not know. This creates a terrifying imbalance. The ignorant charge forward with unshakable confidence, while the wise hold back, paralyzed by their awareness of complexity. Think about this for a moment. Every meeting you have ever attended, every group project, every family discussion, who speaks the most, who dominates the conversation? It is rarely the person with the deepest understanding. It is usually the one with the loudest voice and the fewest doubts. And society rewards this. We mistake confidence for competence. We confuse volume for value. We elect leaders not because they have the best ideas, but because they project the most certainty in a world drowning in uncertainty. But why do intelligent people stay silent? This is where it gets personal, where the mirror turns toward you. If you're watching this video, there is a good chance you have felt this in your own life, that familiar sting of recognition. You have sat in meetings where you knew the answer but did not speak. You have watched incompetent people get promoted while you waited to be recognized for your hard work and dedication. You have bitten your tongue 1,000 times, telling yourself that your time would come, that merit would eventually win, that the system would reward patience and expertise. But has it? Has it ever? The truth is that intelligent people are often their own worst enemies. They overthink. They consider every angle, every possible outcome, every way their words could be misinterpreted. By the time they have formulated the perfect response, the moment has passed. The decision has been made. The promotion has been given to someone else. This is not a flaw in the system. This is the system working exactly as it always has. Power does not wait for perfection. Power goes to those who grab it. There is also something deeper at play here. Intelligent people often have a complicated relationship with power itself. They have read enough history to know what power does to people. They have seen how ambition corrupts, how the pursuit of status can hollow out a person's soul, so they tell themselves they do not want it. They convince themselves that staying on the sidelines is a moral choice, a noble rejection of the games that lesser minds play. But is it really nobility, or is it fear dressed up as virtue? If this idea has already resonated with you, imagine what comes next. Subscribe so you do not miss this journey. Here is where we need to get uncomfortable. The story we tell ourselves about why we stay silent is rarely the true story. We say we do not want power, but what we really mean is that we are afraid to fail publicly. We say we do not care about recognition, but what we really mean is that we cannot handle rejection. We say we are above the petty politics, but what we really mean is that we do not know how to play the game. And so we retreat into our intellect, building elaborate justifications for our inaction, while the world is shaped by people with half our insight but twice our courage. The philosopher Bertrand Russell once wrote something that should haunt every intelligent person who has ever chosen silence over action. He said that the fundamental cause of trouble in the world is that the stupid are cocksure, while the intelligent are full of doubt. This was written almost a century ago, and nothing has changed. If anything, the problem has gotten worse. In an age of social media and instant communication, the loudest voices are amplified, while nuanced thinking is drowned out. Complexity is punished, simplicity wins, and those who understand the depth of problems are outcompeted by those who offer easy answers to hard questions. But here is where transformation begins. Understanding the problem is not enough. You can spend your entire life diagnosing what is wrong with the world and still accomplish nothing. The question is not whether intelligent people should engage with power. The question is how they can do so without becoming what they despise. The first step is accepting that silence is not neutrality. It is not wisdom. It is not patience. When you stay silent, you are not avoiding the game. You are losing it. Every time an intelligent person refuses to speak, they create a vacuum that gets filled by someone else. Usually someone less qualified, less thoughtful, less capable of understanding the consequences of their decisions. Your silence is not a protest. It is a surrender, and the world pays the price for your comfort. The second step is reframing what power means. Power is not inherently corrupt. It is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for destruction or creation. The problem is not that intelligent people have power. The problem is that intelligent people have abandoned power to those who should never have had it in the first place. If you have insight, if you have knowledge, if you have the ability to see what others cannot, then you have a responsibility to use it. Staying silent is not humility. It is a betrayal of your potential. The third step is learning to communicate in a world that does not reward complexity. This is perhaps the hardest part. Intelligent people often fail, not because their ideas are wrong, but because they cannot translate those ideas into language that moves people to action. They speak in abstractions when they should speak in stories. They present data when they should appeal to emotion. They assume that being right is enough, when in reality, being right has never been enough. You have to be right and compelling. You have to be right and clear. You have to be right and courageous enough to say it when it matters. But there is a secret even deeper that few people understand. The greatest power is not found in domination. It is found in influence. The intelligent person who learns to shape minds without seeking credit, who plants seeds of ideas that grow in others, who guides without controlling, this person has achieved something far greater than any throne or title. True power is not about being seen. It is about being felt. It is about changing the trajectory of conversations, organizations, and societies in ways that may never be traced back to you. Think of the advisors who shaped history while kings took the glory. Think of the writers whose ideas outlived empires. Think of the teachers whose words live on in the minds of students who became leaders. These people understood something profound. You do not need to be loud to be powerful. You need to be strategic. You need to know when to speak and when to listen, when to push forward and when to work through others, when to claim credit and when to let your ideas spread without your name attached. This is the path of the intelligent person who refuses to stay silent, but also refuses to become a fool. It requires patience, it requires humility, and it requires something that many intelligent people struggle with most: the willingness to act without certainty. Here is the revelation that connects everything we have discussed. The reason stupidity hijacks power is not because stupid people are stronger. It is because intelligent people have accepted a false choice. They believe they must either compromise their principles to gain influence or maintain their purity by staying on the sidelines. But this is a lie. You can be intelligent and effective. You can be thoughtful and decisive. You can be principled and powerful. These are not contradictions. They are the combination the world desperately needs. The philosopher kings that Plato dreamed of were never meant to be perfect beings living in ivory towers. They were meant to be wise people willing to get their hands dirty in the real world. People who understood that governing, leading and shaping society is messy work, but that the alternative, leaving it to those who care nothing for wisdom, is far worse. So here is the question you must ask yourself as this video ends. What will you do with what you know? Will you continue to sit in silence, comfortable in your superiority, watching as mediocrity shapes the world around you? Or will you step forward, imperfect and uncertain but willing to try? The world does not need more intelligent people hiding behind their doubts. It needs intelligent people brave enough to be wrong in public, wise enough to learn from failure, and persistent enough to keep speaking even when no one seems to listen. Your silence has never been noble. It has been safe, and safe has never changed anything. Safe never moved humanity forward. Safe never challenged injustice. Safe never built anything worth remembering. If this message stirred something in you, if it awakened a voice that has been sleeping too long, leave a comment below. Share what insight resonated most deeply. Like this video and subscribe to this channel so we can continue this journey together. And if you know someone who needs to hear this truth, someone brilliant who has been hiding their light, send them this video. Sometimes the message that changes a life comes from an unexpected place. The world is waiting for voices like yours. It has been waiting far too long. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start speaking.